Namaste, everyone. A very warm welcome to today's Yes Talk titled Life Lessons from Ramayana. Our guest speaker today is Mr. Arun Vasan. I'll share a brief introduction for him. A seasoned mechanical engineering graduate with about 34 years of working experience in the field of engineering, Arun Vasan currently serves as a manager at Bureau Veritas. Beyond the professional sphere, he is a devout follower of Bhagawan Shri Sathya Sai Baba, finding solace and inspiration through bhajans, having composed over 100. He also imparts moral values to children through the Bal Vikas program and fosters spiritual growth through study circles in satsangh. An avid Toastmaster, he has delivered over 70 speeches. Arun sir, it's so lovely having you with us again on the Yes platform. Thank you so much for joining us here. We look forward to a beautiful session with you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for that warm introduction. I hope I am audible to all. Yeah, thank you. Just a small prayer before I start. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our my beloved Bhagawan, Shri Sathya Sai Baba. May he speak through me. May his thoughts come through me. May this session be dedicated to him. Let him present the whole session for this evening. So it's nice to be back here. The last session I truly enjoyed. I couldn't see Doctor, but then post that I could see Dr. Ramesh in social media, and I was also listening to some of his speeches that I knew that yes, I know where you get all the energy if you're able to do so much of service. He's the, let's say, the backbone of all the efforts that we're putting in. I did get quite a good response after that last session. In fact, I felt very good speaking at a stretch for about 30, 40 minutes. I could feel the energy of having spoken about Swami and Swami speaking. It's always, I don't know how to put it, it's always a transformation process whenever you speak on Swami or Swami's teachings. So today, I will be talking about what we call as Ramakatha Rasavahini. So this is that book, Ramakatha Rasavahini, which is written by Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. And Swami has, of course, written many books. But let me share the screen. If it's okay, can you give me the sharing rights? So you can now see, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. So there are many Ramayanams written by so many people, but the one which Swami has written, we don't call it as a biography, we call it as an autobiography. Because we believe that it's the same Rama who was there in Satya Yuga and in Bhagavan Sri Satya, both are of same avatar. So he is writing his own personal experience. It is not through someone who has heard or someone who has witnessed. It's someone who has experienced as Rama itself. So this particular book, it becomes very special in that sense that it is like true life experience. So someone who has really experienced has written about this. So Ramakatha Rasavahini has that, let's say, the special touch. Okay, so 1 minute. Yeah. Many times, what happens whenever we see or read anything, we have the tendency to look at it, things very superficially. We don't go and dig a bit deeper and trying to find the, let's say, the inner significance behind those characters, those incidents, those happenings, and perhaps that's why we don't get to enjoy the scriptures that as much as it should be probably enjoyed. So we'll try to go a bit deeper today with in the following slides you can see. So this is just the word, just to stress the word rasa. Rasa means juice or essence. So if you take the essence of the entire Ramayana, it is present in this book, and it is available online also. You can just put Ramakatha Rasavahini. There are two parts, part one and two. And it's freely downloadable, and you can just go through it. You'll enjoy each and every chapter. I can promise you on that account. So just again to stress that part, it is like, as I said, there are layers and layers of knowledge and information to be learned and digested, assimilated, and worked on. So there is three words that I always have been listening for many, many years. I never could understand what it really meant in depth till I took study circle about a couple of weeks ago. So therein I learned these three words, Shravanam, Manana, and Nididhyasana. So like how I was telling in my last session also, please, if you don't follow any of my words or anything, you can stop me at that point of time and ask me any doubts. Whatever I know, I'll try to share. If not, I'll always come back and enlighten you with whatever I can pick up from other teachings of Swami. So Shravana Manana Nididhyasana is what we, let's say, consciously or unconsciously do all the time. So Shravanam is that first part of any learning is you just listen first. So Shravanam is just listening. Mananam is again, I would say that you contemplate or you think about it, and then you, let's say, you let the system, it get into your system. Nididhyasana is probably the word. Dhyanam is there, concentration is there in that. So you then start concentrating on it or contemplating on that, and then you start, let it become a part of your personality. Now, Swami has given a beautiful example. It is like he says, you see the food, it's of no use, right? You need to, you are seeing it's equivalent to Shravanam, Swami says. And then once you take the food and put it on your plate, it is Mananam, he says. And then Nididhyasana is when you start consuming it, it goes into your system, you become a part of the system, and then you see the effects of that food, the changes you see, that is Nididhyasana. So for a long time, I was not able to, I was, let's say, reading more blindly rather than really putting any focus on stuff. Then I read one line which said that more important than reading is understanding. So if you are able to understand what you're reading, even if you read 2 or 3 pages, that is sufficient rather than reading about 300, 400 pages without understanding. So after you go through such small tips and words, you realize, oh wow, it has so much of meaning, and you should probably be going a bit deeper. So just remember these keywords: Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. So all the characters in Ramayana, it has got important significance, starting from, let's say, Dasharatha. And the word Dasharatha, Rama, we have the inner essence that we call for all these people. So Rama is, of course, I don't have to tell Atma Rama or the core of anything. Dasharatha, the significance is that 10 senses. Again, it is what we call as Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas, 5 organs of action and 5 organs of perception. So that is what is Dasharatha. And Sita is, of course, Brahma Jnana, or the knowledge of the God, we can say. The three queens are, of course, three gunas, Satvik, Rajasic, and Tamasic guna. So Mother Kaushalya, then Sumitra and Kaikeyi, they fall into this category. And the four sons are the four Purushas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, which is our life goals all the time. We, let's say, Kama is our desires. I've been talking about a desire in my last presentation also. So there is nothing wrong in having Kama or nothing wrong in having desire, as long as I always insist that have a ceiling on desires. To go for your desires, or Artha is, of course, wealth. There is nothing wrong again in accumulating wealth. But then the word first, dharma, that you do it in the right way, right conduct, the right methods, right practices has to be followed. And then when you follow all these practice over a period of time, I keep telling you, the journey from desire to desirelessness. And once you reach the stage where you don't desire for anything, you start accepting things as they are. That's when you reach the stage of moksha. Also, the three Rakshasas, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Vishnu, they also represent the three gunas. The gunas like Ravana was Rajasic, Kumbhakarna was Tamasic, and Vibhishna is Sattvic. Now, besides these characters, we also have Sugriva, he's, or let's say, represents Viveka or discrimination. Valis, of course, represents despair. And Lord Hanuman, no need any introduction, courage, and he helps us to cross the ocean of division, which we'll see in the coming slides. Then Swami also says that Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna are all the four Vedas that we know. Rama stands for Rig Veda. So for those of us who feel very lazy or feel that no, Vedas are very tough to read and learn and assimilate, even if you learn Ramayana, that's enough. Indirectly, we are learning Vedam only in a very story and a very absorbing and easy manner. So Rama stands for Rig Veda, so you can probably say that all the do's and don'ts, if you want to know, you have to just follow Rama. Lakshmana, Yajurveda, Bharata, Samaveda, Shatrugna, Atharvaveda. So all the four Vedas are also represented by Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrugna. Apart from Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, these are also representative of that. And of course, here Swami, for us, Swami and Lord Rama are no different. His avtaric mission begins here. Now, I would like to put a small disclaimer here. Some of these teachings I might, let's say, put in my own personal experience, and I would be saying it. So I might not sound illogical because it comes from personal experience. So you have all the rights to question me. Please do question me. Why do you say like this? I firmly believe, for example, in this character, Mantra and Keikei, we always say that Mantra kind of poisoned Keikei's thoughts and made Lord Rama go into forest and stuff like that. Okay, there are reasons, avtaric missions, all those things, we'll be seeing that. But I feel that in our modern day, in our life, we tend to give too much of space to outsiders in our, let's say, family life. We need to set, because I see in my own kids these days, they tend to follow their friends more. They tend to follow their, let's say, acquaintances more rather than their parents or their real true well-wishers. So I always say that these non-family members, let me put it like that way, I will not like to categorize mantra into any particular set, that I would go back to what Swami always says, love all, serve all, but trust no one. So I would say that yes, we need to love mantra, nothing wrong. We need to serve mantra, nothing wrong, but do not trust mantra. So that's my personal, this one. I have faced and have seen in my life many, let's say, things which could have been avoided had we taken the right counseling. People these days hate to listen to your own family members, but would love to listen what others are saying and then take very bold decisions. So that is something I'm totally against. So this is a small teaching that I just wanted to share. You can just give a small thought and then probably even slip it. But then when you are talking with any non-family member, believe in that what are his true intentions? Does he really wish the best for you? All the things you need to analyze before you come to take any particular decision. So this is my first teaching from Ramayana that I would just like you to think upon. I guess this picture is pretty evident what has happened here. And this is one of the most important life lessons one can one should always remember. For example, in this, Swami uses this word which I always love for that part. When we hear the word sharp, we always think that it is very negative, nothing good can come out of it, only disaster or something worse will be happening. And here is the classic example which proves that no, need not necessarily be true. In this case, King Dasharatha, let's say by mistake, he happens to kill Ravana, thinking that he's an elephant while he goes out for hunting. At that time, he was not married and he didn't have any kids. So he realizes what a big mistake he has done, and then he takes Shravana back to his parents. Shravana explains that they have come on a pilgrimage and he had to take his parents to the temple. And in the process, since their pilgrimage is stopped, and the parents who are blind, he used to carry them on his shoulders all the time, and he had come there to just fetch water for his parents. The parents, he takes back Shravana to them, and the parents said that now, okay, journey is almost over, we can't pursue anymore, just let my son be, done his last rites, and they also want to leave with his son. So before leaving, they curse King Dasharatha, saying that one day you will also feel the pangs of this separation, which I am feeling of having left my son, like that. So Dasharatha wasn't having any kids at that time. So when he heard this curse, so he was, let's say, within deep, there was a small sense of satisfaction that, oh, okay, I will be getting a son. So, okay, one fine day I might get, I may have to get separated from him, but it's okay, but I'm going to get a son. So he thought that it's kind of a blessing. So in our life also, many a time, many a situation, things which happens which are beyond our control, we need not get so much upset. There will be a, let's say, a learning for us. There will be a opportunity for us somewhere in the whole process, which is where the challenge probably lies for us. That we need to go a bit deeper and find out that yes, Swami has shown us a path, or he has asked us to do a particular thing. He needs us to focus on something, or maybe there is something which is we are not seeing because of our routine habits, and it might just open a the third eye or fourth dimension. Something might just turn up at that point of time. So anytime we face any kind of an issue, I always feel, especially I tell in office all my staff that okay, if you don't get an order, just find out why you've not got order. Maybe it's a boon. We don't know, just because we can't be getting all the orders that we quote for sometimes. So maybe there is a lesson. Maybe there is something that we need to work on. Maybe there is something which we need to buy. Maybe we need to get better prepared. So anything which doesn't work in your favor, we need not really get bogged down. There is definitely a learning for us. There is something that, let's say, a blessing hidden somewhere in the whole process that we need just to dig and then enjoy it. So this is something which I always loved about Ramayana, that in anything which doesn't happen the way we want, it's okay, no big deal. I'm not so matured enough to understand all the things that Swami makes it happen. So somewhere I'm also growing in the process of yes, I'm also learning at that stage. Yes, this has happened. So this is where I need to absorb that quality, and this is where I need to apply, and that's how one grows in life. Yeah, this is their first journey that Rama and Lakshmana, they go to forest to protect the sages, to let them do the yajna. So they say that they both sacrifice food and sleep. The reason I picked up this particular slide is that when we do seva, when I say seva, anything and everything that we do, and if we think about Swami, it is seva. Whether we do it for money, or whether we do it for as a volunteer cause, or whether we do it for family, whatever it means, the moment we put everything as an offering to Swami, it becomes a seva. So, but especially when you do a volunteering activity and wherein you are not getting paid, and that's time when that's a true challenge that you do a kind of a selfless act. And at least that particular point of time, I always want that people should not look about this food and sleep. I've seen so many Sai volunteers when they do seva, these things just doesn't come into their mind at all. They just go blind. Okay, I need to do this. It is only that thought which always remains. So I just wanted to share that with you people. Okay, so this one is the, let's say, the first action by Lord Rama, wherein he kills Tataki. Of course, when you read the story, you will find that he wasn't readily, not just taken and killed. He was trying to stop it. He was trying to argue with Vishwamitra, should I or should I not? But then he kills Tataki. That's the first major, let's say, action he takes as an avatar of, Lord Rama. And if you see Mahabharata, Lord Krishna also does something similar. He kills Putana, the mother who comes to feed as in disguise, trying to poison Lord Krishna, but Lord Krishna kind of gives her moksha by killing her or sucking up the entire poison. So if you see the movie, when we see any movie, the hero's entry, it always has a deep impact. So in these two yugas, we'll find that both avatars, they kind of start their, let's say, first major action by killing a woman. So let's come to the current, let's say, Kali Yuga, where both Shri Sai Baba and Sathya Sai Baba, they both had, let's say, that one of the earliest miracles that they are well known for is, like, for example, Shri Sai Baba. The first thing on Chand Patil, he was one of the earliest devotees who asked, he went to Bhagawan Shri Sai Baba and asked, I have lost my horses and I don't know where I'll find. And then the Swami says that, look there, your horses are there in that direction. And he goes and finds, because that horses were his livelihood. And then he takes Swami into his village, and then the whole Sai avatar starts, Shri Sai avatar starts. Similarly, when you see Sathya Sai Baba, one of his earliest miracle was again, there was this cart driver who had lost his entire cart, and he comes to Swami and says that, oh, Bhagawan, I have lost, what should I? Then again, Swami points out, go in this direction, you'll find your cart. Now, the way I infer that what Swami is trying to teach us, that in Kali Yuga, what do these horses represent? They represent our senses. It is very essential that we should learn how to control our senses. The sense control is probably the most challenging thing which we face in Kali Yuga, with the kind of exposure we have towards social media, or the easy availability of so many stuff, with very less control on us. And probably this is why Swami has first given the, let's say, the first miracle as showing horse. Now, why horse? Horse is considered is an animal which will never ever keep quiet. It will always do something or other. And if some part of the body will always be in action, be it whether it's head or its tail or its leg, it will always be moving. Same is the case of our senses. If the eyes, ears, tongue, something feel something, it will always want. It will never ever settle down. It will never cool down. So both avatars, they first give their interaction that yes, we need to control our senses. And the best example we can see, and I tell my Bal Vikas students, is that if you let Lord Krishna be your Sarthi, just like he was for Arjuna, and all those forces of all our senses, if we let it be guided by Lord Krishna, and he is driving our journey, then we are assured that we don't have to think much, and we have truly surrendered. So yes, I just wanted you to remember that sense control is probably the most challenging thing one can find these days. All right. So here the breaking of Shiva Dhanush happens, and they use both Rama and Sita had used left hand to lift and break it up, apparently. And now I try to find in the internet what is so special about it using left hand. So it's said that using left hand and using a right hand to make the arrow and practice, that's how it is normally done. But Arjuna, it seems, apparently he was Savya Sajidesis, like English equivalent is ambidextrous. He could use both left and right. So it was always difficult to catch Arjuna's bow and arrow mechanism, whether he was, in which way he'll shoot. So he had more flexibility. So I guess that's what probably Swami is trying to teach us here. But the next slide is more important for us. To attain Sita, which is Brahma Jnana, the Shiva Dhanush or body attachment will have to be broken, is the insignificant. So when Lord Rama broke the Shiva Dhanush, so again it is the body attachment. Again it goes back to what I was telling in my previous slides, the sense control, that the sooner we are able to have that control over us, be it in food or in anything that you can do it, you have actually won, you are already on the right path of growth. So yes, all four of them get married, Rama to Sita, Lakshmana to Urmila, Bharata to Mandavi, Shatrugna to Sutakirti. But there is a lesson for us in the following slide. So here the marriage is said to be between Purusha and Prakriti. Now, Swami says that though there is something called as a masculine form, but in essence, in true essence, there is nothing really masculine. Everything is feminine, everything is Shakti. This is Swami's teaching. So maybe initially we all feel very masculine, or whatever you can denote with it, but as you go deeper, you'll find that it's only feminine, and then over a period of time, you really don't differentiate whether it's men or women or what, because you reach a stage where everything you think it of in a very divine purpose, as one said. So I used to tell that if you take Purusha Suktam, we say that there is only one Purusha, and from him only all the Sahasra Sirsha Purusha, we say that all were, let's say, he multiplied into many. So like that, but we feel that everything's feminine. So then when we say feminine and we feel that there is more love coming out of it, nothing wrong, perfectly right. Again, validated by what Swami has said in this Ramakatha Rasavahini. It is said that Rama did not agree for marriage. He did not even look at Sita. He said, I need to take my parents' permission before I can give consent for this marriage or even agree to look at Sita when the proposal came. So I think there is probably a lesson for us that yes, we need to follow this kind of let's say, respect towards women that let parents agree, go for it, and then do. Yeah, so there's probably a lesson for us here in this. Now, we all have the tendency to, let's say, uh, look at Kaikeyi at a very, from negative point of view that she is the main reason for sending Lord Rama into forest because she asked for her, let's say, the boons. But then Swami says that no, it was Rama who had pleaded Kaikeyi to ask for the boons so that he can start his avtaric mission. So we can be a little bit forgiving towards Kaikeyi that yes, she had a role to play and she played it perfectly. And later on, when you read Ramakatha Rasavahini, all the mothers they go to the forest to meet Lord Rama, and Mother Sita she again meets all the mothers, and she treats everyone equally. There is no, let's say, any misgivings that look because of you only I'm here, I'm suffering. No, nothing of that sort. She treated everything as equally. So, though I'm telling you in a very, how let's say very layman's language, but if you read Swami's words, the essence of the rasa or the juice, that the imagination, all those things you can truly enjoy. So one of the teachings out here that in life you may have to do certain things in life even if you don't like it. We think that sometimes there will be chances that let's say I need to be tough with my child because that's the only example I can think of, which itself is a big challenge these days. So if I have to be, I have to be. It's a role that I play. And like how I told in my previous session also, the intention is more important. If my intentions are sincere, yes, go for it. So like that, we may have to do things we truly don't like, but yes, you are asked to do it. It's a role that you play, so you just do it towards the end of the day. There is this, before going to the forest, there is an entire chapter written by Swami where Lord Rama goes to Sita and says that, look, I have to go, so you be here and take care of my parents and do your duty. Then see, there's a beautiful argument between Mother Sita and Lord Rama, where Mother Sita keeps on, arguing, look, you are following your dharma as a son, you are listening to your father, you are going to the forest. Similarly, I am a wife, I need to be where my husband is, so I need to follow my dharma. And it's a beautiful discussion that goes on between two. So the lesson for me out here is that sometimes when you want certain things to be done and you feel that yes, dharma is on your side, don't give up that easily. Fight for your rights. You just might win it. And that's how Sita was able to convince Lord Rama, and Lord Rama in the end eventually had to say yes and take her to the forest. So yes, we don't have to sometimes accept what you call a status quo. There are some rules written. There are some things that you are expected to follow. You can always question, and as long as you feel that there is a sense of righteousness, there is a sense of truth in what you argue. So please go for it. No need that you have to follow just because someone else has told you to do so. Now, there is this question which comes in Ramayana that, Sita went with Lord Rama. Good, so why didn't Urmila go? So, the reason it's being given is that, yes, Urmila was there to take care of the parents. If all people go to the forest, who is there to take care of the parents? That's the argument given. But apparently, it appears that Mother Sita was more glorified and maybe Urmila wasn't given that kind of an importance. But when you are doing a role, and, whatever be the role, just do it to perfection. That's what is the learning for us. Just because Urmila didn't go with Lakshmana, her efforts or her, let's say, seva that she did for the mother-in-law and all those things cannot be, let's say, undermined. It is as important as what Mother Sita has said. So, the whatever role we are playing in our society, in the current life, be it small or big, just let's do to our best of our ability, and that's perfectly okay. Just because we don't make that kind of money or that kind of recognition, it doesn't matter. Swami doesn't really, let's say, rate us on all those achievements. It is like the sincerity or the bhava that I say that we put behind our efforts that ultimately matters. Okay, this is a very beautiful story where Guha is, let's say, the boatsman. He takes Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita across the Ganges. And there is a good discussion that goes. The boatsman says that I will not let you go into the boat because you will turn my boat into a bunch of women, just like how we did to Ahalya. Then I have to take care of all these women, which is beyond my capacity. So let me wash your feet. So he goes on to wash his feet, and then they have a very good conversation between during the travel. And then he says, both of us essentially do the same job. You take devotees across this ocean of life and death. I take you across here. So we both are not very different. We are kind of one only. So it's a nice conversation both of them have. Please read and enjoy. But in the end, Lord Rama suddenly realized that he doesn't have anything to give. So Sita, without any second thought, she offers to give a ring. But then the boatsman, he refuses to take. He said that you have come in a boat, and my last generation, my next generation will not have any papa, and that has been cleared off. So yes, that's the thing that I just wanted to share. This one is probably the best example for surrender for Lakshmana. Now they reach this Chitrakuta, and Lord Rama he comes and asks Lord Rama, where should I build the hut? And the Rama says, wherever you wish. And then Lakshmana, it seems, he was very upset. He said, my wish, do I have anything called as my wish? No, I don't have anything as my wish. Whatever you say is my wish, even the smallest of small things also, I don't really think about it. So when you say my wish, you're kind of insulting me. This is the conversation they have, both brothers, and Rama says, okay, you go and let's say build a cottage there. So this particular incident, it teaches that when you surrender, and when you say that the surrender is 100%, is probably one of the best examples to say that I have absolutely no desires. What Rama says, that's final. So just wanted to share that. I think I've been talking a lot. So if anyone has any doubts, please do stop and ask me. Otherwise, I'll keep talking. Anything just you can put in the chat, I would like to share. I can share in that. So here Swami wants us to learn the two types of bhakti, the bhakti of how devotee, here you see this devotee, they catch hold of the mother monkey, the baby monkey. So that is known as Markata Kishora. That is this one type of bhakti where the devotee kind of holds on to the Lord. And once you have like completely surrender, which is will be like how the cat takes off its kitten, it holds in such a way that the kitten is never ever hurt, and it takes from one place to another. So once you have completely surrendered, just like Lakshmana, then the Lord will take you across this life. You don't have to worry about anything. So just wanted to you to remember these two types of, let's say, approach towards in devotion. All right. So now comes the character of Bharata. Bharata, when he comes to know that all this has happened, is of course very upset. He comes to the forest, and then there is this lengthy discussion between Rama and Bharata. Bharata insists that come back at any cost. Rama says no, because I have a duty to perform, and they keep on talking, and then Lord he can, at least says, "Give me the padukas, let me take it. I'll keep it there, and I'll rule that. The padukas will rule the Ayodhya till you come back." So I'll just probably share a 2 minutes video here for all of you, which Swami has told. There is a very beautiful lesson for us in that 2 minutes which Swami is talking here. So I'll just share the YouTube, and please listen, and then we'll continue our discussion. All right. So, well, I'll just share what Swami says in this one. Let me just have a little bit of water, please. All right. So Swami here in that 2 minutes video, he talks about how Bharata, for 14 years when he was separated, he goes to a small, like outside the city, he makes a small hut and he is 24 by 7, let's say the next 14 years, he does nothing except pray to Lord Rama or think about Rama only. And over a period of time, they say that Bharata started developing blue color, and he started to resemble Lord Rama more and more and more. And at one stage, when Lord Rama came back to Ayodhya, people were not able to differentiate between the two. They were not able to know who is Rama and who is Bharata. And when Lord Rama enters and they want to garland Lord Rama, they go to garland Bharata first, it seems. Then Bharata realizes that, oh, this is a big mistake is about to happen. And he starts telling people, look, I am Bharata and this is Lord Rama. Now, when we Sai devotees, we always have this, let's say chatter or banter, you could probably say, that there are devotees who are there in Puttaparthi. They are very close to Swami and they get to see Swami at least in good old days. And they have their own set of bhakti. And there are people like us, we just see the photos, we only think, we only offer bhajans, and by that we try to capture Swami's essence. So who is greater? Of course, it's just this one. But then Bharata is probably the greatest that without seeing a person, he still thinks about them so much that he starts resembling them. Now, this is if you go back to my earlier slides, I talked about Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. So anything that you follow these steps, you become that to a certain stage where there is no more duality. You are not two persons, you are just one person. So whatever thoughts that you have been having, you become that person itself. So that's what Swami says, that once you start praying to him, once you start practicing the teachings, you eventually become divine. You eventually become Swami. So this is probably, I just wanted to make you people listen to Swami's words, his words, but it's okay. This is the essence of it. This is the Rasavahini teaching. So, and also, if you remember from Hanuman Chalisa, it is said that Tumu Mama Priya Bharata hi Samabhayi. So they don't. The Lakshmana is not mentioned here. It is Bharata who is mentioned. That Bharata was probably a greater devotee than Lakshmana. Lakshmana, for him it's easy because he sees Lord Rama daily. But for Bharata, who doesn't see Lord Rama, yet loves him with all his life, goes on to show how important, how beautiful devotion can be. So I just wanted all of you to remember this. And this is one of the classic. This is one of the classic situation where we have this famous dialogue that where there is Kama, there can be no Rama. So everything was going smoothly till, of course, you had to start the Avtaric mission. You had to go about to handle Ravana. So Mother Sita asked for the deed, which represents the material desire. The moment you go for material desires, you always end up losing Rama, and that's what happened. So this, even when you have Lord Rama at your side, and you think of wealth a bit, you end up losing Lord Rama himself. So I just wanted you to remember that where there is Kama, there can be no Rama. This is one of our famous teachings. We all Sai devotees keep like to reminding ourselves that stay away, control your desires to have a, let's say, good life. Now enters Lord Hanuman, and of course he's everyone's favorite. And there are many stories about and incidents about Bhagawan Hanuman. But I just want to share one particular incident where he jumps across the ocean to fetch about, or let's say, in search of Mother Sita. And of course, Jaman comes and he gives that motivational talk that you can do it. And then Lord Hanuman realizes that he has the strength and he jumps. So when he jumps, he faces three obstacles. So again, these three obstacles are nothing but the three gunas that we keep talking about: Satvik, Rajasik, and Tamasic. So the first obstacle that he meets, let's say, when he's jumping, there is this Mainaka, the mountain, which says that why you're on such a big mission, you need to take rest. You can just spend some time here, and then you can continue. And then he says, no, I'm on a very important mission. I cannot do this, but I'll just touch and go out of respect. Now, if you see in our day-to-day life also, many a times we have very big dreams. We want to achieve something really solid in our life. And when we start doing that, you'll find your parents, your uncles, aunties, and like, beta, this is not your cup of tea. You cannot do it. Why don't you try this job? Why you want to start business at this life? So this is probably what we call as a sattvic challenge. The intentions are good, but it doesn't really get the things done. So Vainaka probably represents that particular aspect where the love can be hindrance at times, and we need to be really smart enough to understand and move on. The next hindrance is or obstacle you can call it surasa, wherein Lord Hanuman is challenged. It says that you need to get into my mouth and come out. And then Lord Hanuman starts growing in size so big, and the Surasa also open its mouth, and in a second he becomes subtle, small, and then. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So sorry. So Surasa is then Lord Hanuman becomes small, and he gets into the mouth and comes out. So the lesson for us, which is Rajasik, is that it is not enough that we just learn the, let's say, the scriptures. We should also develop something called as street smartness. We should also learn to be practical. We should also learn to handle the day-to-day situations and learn to have what we probably lack these days, common sense. I've seen some of the engineers who join us, some very basic things you ask them to do, they look totally lost and blind. So yeah, so probably this is the best example that Surasa says that street smartness, or you let's say out of box thinking, all those things are required if you want to really accomplish your mission. The third one is Simika, where they say that if you fall under the shadow, you are gone forever. So that's again the best example of Tamasic. When you are on your mission and you are really doing well, any small tamasic habit, it will spoil the entire goal or the entire journey. So the Lord Hanuman's, let's say, the flight that he took from this end to the other one, and he is able to locate Mother Sita, and he undergoes all these obstacles, is something we face our day-to-day life all the time. And we need to remember that these kind of challenges will be there, and we need to know which technique when to apply. And probably the last one where the Simika is that we don't fall into any of these tamasic habits and lose all that we have gained with all the efforts that we have done. So this is the one thing that I always wanted us to remember. The meeting, of course, last meeting itself, I told when Lord Hanuman meets Lord Rama first time, and how Rama gives the feedback that his speech was the essence of all Vedas. He was using the middle speech. He was praising the Lord Hanuman like anything. So you just please read it, and you will really enjoy it. It's a beautiful thing. And I was just watching the reels, and the people say that it is still believed that they were not really monkeys. They were just people in the disguise of monkey. There were only manavs, but in disguise of monkeys. But otherwise, they were only one. Okay, these things, they keep happens in our mind. Something which is so popular, it will always be disputed and agreed. But you just need to remember these beautiful things. Now, this particular thing I always loved about Lakshmana. When Mother Sita is kidnapped, and let's say she throws her jewels one by one, so that if someone tracks, they can find out where she is. And Sugriva and Hanuman, they're able to collect all these jewels, and they show it to Lord Rama and Lakshmana and ask, are you able to identify if it's Mother Sita's? So Lord Rama is very visibly upset. He says, I'm not able to really focus. And he asks Lakshmana, can you find out if this belongs to Mother Sita? And then Lakshmana gives one of the most beautiful, let's say, answer. He says that I can only identify Mother Sita's anklets because I have always touched her feet and taken her Ashirvad, and I have not seen her in totality. So I am able to recognize, yes, this is Mother Sita only by the anklets. And this is probably a very good lesson for all of us, that we need to treat our women folk on the same lines like how Lakshmana has done that. Yes, they need to be given that due respect, and probably this can be a best role model or inspiration for us to follow the right path. So I love this story a lot. That yes, and I keep telling my Bal Vikas kids and also in my satsangh that this is the ideal way to respect our women. And then, of course, again, Swami talks about four Purushas in this one. Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upeksha. Again, you want to succeed in anywhere or anything, friendliness, compassion, joyfulness, equanimity is a compulsion that you need to work on. Yes, this battle where, let's say, Wali has been taken care of, there's always a dispute that Rama was hidden and he kind of, let's say, kind of cheated. But I would say that, as I always say, if your intentions are good, yes, you just go about doing your work. And then towards the end, when the second time when the war, let's say the fight goes on after Rama has given his, let's say, strength test, Wali, he calls Rama, and then only the arrow comes because they still look the same, though he's wearing that garland and stuff. So I feel that whenever you call Rama, he comes and takes care of all your problems. Just you need to call him. That's it. There is this character Vibhishana, the Sathya character of among the three brothers. Now, Swami, let's say, has been little harsh on him slightly when Hanuman meets Vibhishana for the first time. He's searching for Mother Sita, and he could hear that there is a sound of Rama coming from one place. So he goes and finds that Vibhishana is continuously praying Rama. And during the conversation, Vibhishana says, "You are very lucky. You are able to meet Rama. You are doing his mission and stuff like that." So Hanuman kind of gives a very, let's say, a tough reply, or let's say what we call tough love these days. He says that, look, okay, you're devoted, you're calling Rama, Rama, but there is this Sita is here, she's kidnapped, and so what have you done about it? Why are you keeping quiet? So if there is something wrong, you need to voice it out, you need to take actions, you need to participate in seva. So end of the day, if you just do, let's say, puja room, puja only, sometimes it is not enough. You need to translate into action also. That is equally important. This particular incident, in short of time, I think I have 10 minutes, right? So I'll try to wrap it up. It's a beautiful incident wherein Lord Hanuman, he comes back to give the news that Mother Sita has been found. He knows the whereabouts, the locations, everything. And there is this down south, I don't know if you have heard this, I wanted to sing and offer you, but I don't think I can. So there is this song, Contain, Contain, which says that the very word contain I have seen. So he doesn't give a big lecture that I went there, I faced this problem, I had to face all this. And then he says, yes, I saw Mother Sita just by that word contain. But before he could go and do this, Lord Rama, he inquires about their health and welfare. Though Lord Rama has not, he is very keen to know the news that what happened to Mother Sita, did you find? It doesn't go to the subject directly. There is, let's say, a formal introduction, how we say in Toastmasters, opening, body, and conclusion. There is a minor opening where he inquires, how are you, how was the journey, were you safe, all of you okay? And then he goes about asking this. This is something which I find that these days people, they become so, I don't know the word for it, they're so centered or selfish. They just want to come to the topic directly, which is very rude if you ask me. You need to always, inquire how are you, because in Gulf, it's a standard practice. You just don't get to the subject straight away. We always talk, how is your parent, how is your family, how are your kids, what are they doing? And in the end, you come to the subject, 1 or 2 minutes, and then you say, okay, thanks, take care, like that. So this is probably where we need to learn that Rama, though he's missing his wife, he's in anguish, but he doesn't say, where is my wife? Did you find my wife? No. He first inquires about the health, and then people send, and then they rejoice. So yes, it looks a very small thing, but a very important lesson for us. Okay, I would not like to go into this, but there is a story that Ravana did the puja for Rama's victory before war, but the internet has, let's say, contradictions, so I don't want to go into it. There is, yeah, I would like to share the story. I love the story where when Vibhishana comes and he surrenders to Rama, so Rama gives him a promise that, look, I'll make you the king of Lanka. So there were like his own, the team, they asked, what if, you do this what if analysis. And then one of them asked that if Ravana comes back, he says, look, I'm sorry, man, made a mistake. Please take back Sita, so please forgive me. So what would you do, Lord Rama? So Lord Rama says, if such is the case, then I would forgive him and I'll make him the king of Ayodhya. So let's say the magnanimity of Lord Rama, that he would probably give Ayodhya just because he made this promise, goes on to show that why do we love Rama so much. So I just wanted to share that small story with you. And of course, I don't know, you might have heard about this. Towards the end, when Pattabhishekam, everything's done, and people are kind of giving that return gifts, Lord Hanuman was given this necklace by Vibhishna to the best, let's say, the best performer of the war, and Mother Sita gives to the Hanuman, and then Hanuman says, he takes it, tastes it, and then tightly listens, and then he throws off the necklace. The whole palace is disturbed, and one of them asks, why do you do that? And then he very coolly says, I can't hear Lord Rama in this, so it is useless for me. So one of them challenges, so where do you hear the Rama? He takes out one hair, which we call as a Rom. And then in our bhajan, we have this line, Bhagawan ke har Rom Rom mein sada vasate Shri Ram Ram Ram. So he takes the hair and shows it to they put it in the listener of that doubter, and he could hear Rama, Rama, Rama. So that shows the kind of devotion he has. And I believe towards that he opens his chest and also shows Lord Rama there. So yeah, that's the reason I wanted to share this. Yeah, I think this is where I kind of end my presentation. Am I looking? Yeah. So there we are. I think I did speak a lot today. So, just to summarize, there are a few things that I always want all of us to remember from this. Like the first one about curse can be a blessing. So, we really need not get very upset when things don't go the way we want. Believe me, that's where the changes happen. That's where the growth is for us. The way Bharata approaches Rama, the way the boatman tries to convince Rama to get his feet to take darshan, the way Hanuman crosses the river, all the obstacles that he faces, and it's also this one incident that I just wanted to share. Before Rama could enter Ayodhya after having one born, he sends Lord Hanuman to go and check about Bharata's status. So it's a very practical thing which Lord Rama does. He doesn't take for granted that people are waiting for him and Bharata would not have changed his mind. He kind of checks the situation. So it's for me, I would say that sometimes we take our friends and family for granted. Maybe that's where we also need to have a bit of caution that we need to check whether you are really available. Are you okay? Can we come and visit you now? Is it okay? Can I give you this trouble? So, yes, everywhere in Ramayana, you'll find practical lessons for us to learn. And I try to share what best it touched my heart. So thanks, so many thanks that I could speak to you people, and I didn't allow you to speak much. I allowed this 40, 50 minutes. I could share my thought. Sayonara, back to you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Arun sir. Thanks a lot for this beautiful, insightful session. And the way you drew parallels from our practical lives and shared the lovely teachings, we could really use them in our lives. Thank you so much. I would request you to stop sharing the screen, sir, so that I can request the participants if anyone wants to share something or ask something. Please go ahead.
Any questions, Saram? I can always share.
Dr. Bijlani, sir, would you like to share your thoughts, please?
Since nobody has asked any question, and in any case, there are very few participants, I thought let me start with a question today. I think in one of the first slides you showed that the four sons of Dasharatha could be compared to the four Purusharthas, Kama, Artha, Dharma, and Moksha. Was that just a sort of the figure four which is common, or did you also have in mind which of the sons corresponds to which Purushartha?
I would say the first one, Dharma, is Lord Rama, and the rest you can put anywhere. Like for me, you see Lord Rama and then Kalas, everything is over there. And Martha, Kama, Moksha, I really don't know who is who. But yes, Lord Rama, because Ramo, that Vigraham Dharma, something is mentioned that he is the embodiment of Dharma. So yes, Dharma can be this one. And the rest I have not really focused on. So I don't know who is who, but Swami says these are four, so these are four. I think in that sequence only I mentioned, right? So yes, it is from Swami, he is correct. Well, maybe Artha is Lakshmana and Kama is Bharata and Moksha is Shatruna. That's how I have to take it.
Let's see if Nitya or Shri Vidya have anything to say. Shri Vidya prefers to
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
say something
so
on
the
chat.
question is, you talk of surrender as well as standing up for your rights. When do you do each? How to know?
Okay. I don't know how to put this, but Swami has always said that listen to your heart. So if your heart says that you need to fight, please fight. If your heart says you need to surrender, just surrender. The heart can never ever be wrong. So just go deeper, deeper. You'll find the heart guides you correctly. So depending on your situation, the circumstances, when you really need to step up, please step up. When you need to voice out, please voice out. And where you need to really fight for your rights, please do that. And there is this very beautiful lesson in Ramayana which I didn't share. And of course, I don't know, I have just 1 minute. So I'll just say quickly Rama was waiting for, let's say, the weather conditions to improve before he could start a full fledged attack on Ravana. So it always bothered me that why was he keeping quiet? He was Lord himself, so he should have run and broken all the conditions. But there are times when you need to be practical. You cannot be, become emotional and just go about on the streets and try to get things done. So you need to plan, you need to organize, you need to study, you need to assess. So I would say that do your due diligence before getting too emotional and getting into more trouble. So yeah, so do all these studies and then in the end listen to your heart. If your heart says that, please voice out, do that. That's my answer for you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Welcome, sister.
If there's no other question or comment, then maybe I'll start with the fact you said you have just 1 minute more. We're not that uptight about
I
time
have
when it
plenty of
comes to
minutes.
when it comes
Oh,
to
sorry.
finishing the session. You thought that the time allowed is till 7 o'clock,
Okay.
but we are not very uptight about finishing. We are quite very punctual when we start, but the finishing time is a little flexible.
All
That
right. Cool.
reminds me of one of the foreign secretaries long back. He was in the company of foreigners. The foreign secretary naturally will have to be very often. So he was told once that you Indians are not punctual. He said, yes, we are not slaves of time. So we don't believe in that sort of absolute punctuality when it comes to finishing the session.
In our Sai, this one Swami always has insisted on time because Swami says that when you start on time, you need to finish on time. And the commitment that you give to people, try to do within that time. Don't overshoot. Don't take anyone for granted. Everyone has got their own set of duties. So please. So even in Parthi, suppose the 4:30 Vedam has to be started. It starts at 4:30. Come what may. If someone is doing something, it is abruptly stopped. 4:30 Vedam has to start. 6 o'clock Aarti, 6 o'clock Aarti has to start. So we are being, let's say, tuned to that. So I've been told 1 hour session, tell us 1 hour. So you cut it off. You don't, I don't want to take your time. You obviously will have so many things in life. So that's the reason I said, okay, 1 minute, I'll switch off, I'll keep quiet. Because Ramayanam and other Swami is teaching us that you keep talking, you enjoy so much, you forget, and then you end up thinking like Bharata. So many thoughts it comes and you enjoy it. But I should not force you people. Then you will next time you'll never call me. Oh, this guy he talks too much, and let's avoid him. So I don't want to reach that stage. That's why I said, okay, let's maintain the times, doctor. Nothing else. I am open. Follow whatever you people say. I have no
No, no,
issues.
sure. I mean, if this speaker goes on for too long, then that also creates problems, especially in a physical session where people can't leave easily, unlike online sessions. Uh, but at the same time, for the question answer session and discussion, one can be a little more flexible. Uh, Now let me turn to a few points that I had jotted down. One was about the slides. The slides were beautiful.
I'll be very honest. I just copied it from internet. Someone else had done this before, so he made my job easier. And like it's all form this one. Maybe he also had did a presentation somewhere and it is there available in net. So my job was very much easy. But I deleted few from which he made. But both are essentially from this book, Ramakatha Rasavahini by Swami. One of the best books
It
you
doesn't matter
should
whosoever
go
was the
through.
instrument of God who did it. uh,
Yes,
that doesn't matter. But
it
the
carries
slides
on.
were beautiful. They were a lesson in how a good slide should be prepared. And the selection of colors, fonts, the size of the fonts, uh, everything was superb. And of course, the pictures were marvelous. That was one.
Thank
The
you.
other thing was that, loosely speaking, what you did in the session today, or what Sai has done, is can be called research, because one way of looking at research is any original and critical intellectual activity, and that is why, in spite of the research that has been done, you allowed for questions. You still allowed for questions. If any questions to be raised, you can do that. Now, this is something which is possible because uh, in the Sanatana Dharma tradition, or what is loosely called the Hindu tradition, we have this freedom. No scripture is the last word, not even a scripture. As Sri Aurobindo says, the highest scripture is within you, and Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma is the only religion in which you have that type of freedom. And that is why anyone who does not believe can ask questions, can even also, if he is so inclined and is willing to make the effort, go on an independent quest to see whether what the other rishis have discovered was really true. Now, this type of freedom is absolutely unique to our tradition, and that is what I think we should not forget and be proud of. And that is one thing which I wanted to emphasize. And the other was about the much maligned mantra and to some extent also Kaikai. I'm glad that you brought out more charitable ways of looking at them. And in fact, they can all fit into, in retrospect, that if they were not there, including, of course, the curse which Dasarath got, if all that had not happened, how could Rama have fulfilled his avataric mission? So it all ties up in retrospect with that. So in the divine design, they all had a place, including Manthara and Kaikai. And the other was about, they said that Rama and Krishna both started with killing a woman. Now, this is something which women can, and sort of, it's not only women, I mean, human being, I mean, men also uh, can see things a little more impartially, may take a little exception to, because woman is very often considered a distraction for men, and that she is the one who leads men astray. It's the women who lead the men astray, as if women are to be blamed for it. And it is only men who have to uh, follow the spiritual path and make spiritual progress their mission, and a woman will be the distraction who will prevent them from doing so or lead them astray. That applies also on the spiritual path. Firstly, I mean, uh, as why not the man be blamed who gets distracted? Secondly, is it only men who have to be on the spiritual path, or a woman has an equally the same mission in life to make spiritual progress? Can a man be a distraction for a woman? Now, these are all questions which can be raised, and they would be very valid questions. And the fact that Putana and Kartiki, they happen to be men, does not mean that we can sort of generalize from that this fashion. Although, I mean, the fact is that the way the world is, it is primarily a man's world, and therefore, if you look at it, it's an interesting fact you must have also observed in all sort of places like uh, Sri Sathya Sai Baba's ashrama or in the Sri Aurobindo ashram. The spiritual teachers tend to be mostly men because probably they have had greater freedom to organize their life they wanted. Not so many women are there, but at the same time, the women have a great need for this type of leading this type of a life, and they may not end up being leaders and teachers, but among the followers the number of women is much larger than that of men. So that is something which again needs thinking about, and that probably happens that not only women are more spiritually inclined than men, their life also offers greater opportunities for spiritual progress, be it through parenting, be it through serving the family, be it forgetting themselves instead of uh, taking care of the others around them. Now, these are all things which lead to their spiritual growth, although, I mean, we may not call it so. It's not the jargon which is important. It is now becoming a spiritual teacher that is important. The process is independent of these, and probably through this, they are growing spiritually and actually fulfilling the mission of their life by doing this, in spite of not ending up being spiritual teachers and leaders. So these are some of the things which, which often I have been thinking, and I thought I'll take this opportunity to talk about that here. Then, another beautiful thing that you brought out was that different seekers can have different fields of work. Their karma kshetra or the karma bhumi could be different. And just as you said, some of the devotees of the Sai live in Puttaparthi and some live elsewhere the way you do. The same applies to Sri Aurobindo Ashram. There are some who live in the headquarters, the Pondicherry. Some of us live in places like the Delhi ashram and seldom go to Pondicherry. People like me, we feel Sri Aurobindo and the mother are also in the Delhi ashram. Why do I have to go to Pondicherry? And some are not even living within the Delhi ashram, they're living outside, and still they can not, no less, they get satisfied with just looking at the pictures, thinking of Sri Aurobindo and the mother, and making an occasional visit on special occasions to the ashram. So we have all types of devotees, and one can't say one is any less than the other. Another, so mainly the sincerity of the devotion and this the dedication with which you are doing whatever you are doing, the spirit in which you're doing, which is important, not where you stay. Another important thing was Hanuman. Was Hanuman really a monkey? That may be a debatable point, but just reminded me of what one of the uh, seekers and very advanced sadhaks of Sri Aurobindo Ashram used to say, Manojda. He was also a bilingual writer, a very well-known bilingual writer. Manojda, he used to say that probably Hanuman has been inserted into Ramayana to show that if a devotee is perfect, if he is a perfect devotee, if his surrender is total, then the limitations of the devotee do not matter. Even a monkey can attain God. So it was that's why probably Hanuman was inserted as one of the characters in the Ramayana. Then another point was about whether Rama was right in cheating Bali. In the same way, Sri Krishna also told a few tricks to Arjuna during the Mahabharata war, whether what's right. I think we as humans do not have a right to judge someone who is at that level. We use our ordinary human logic. The logic of the infinite can be quite different. And in the larger scheme of things, probably, we have to say that for, a, for the mission for which they had come, these things were absolutely right. So it is that which counts. And therefore, I think when we start judging, we are not really doing the right thing. So these were some of the comments that occurred to me. And with that, I would say that I would like to thank you for a very thought-provoking session and also a session which we could all relate to because Ramayana is one of those tales which most of us are familiar with. And in fact, Ramayana and Mahabharata have probably taught us more about how to live our life than the Vedas and the Upanishads because most people have learned it primarily through Ramayana and Mahabharata, to some extent the Gita. Very few turn to the Vedas and the Upanishads. But before we close the session, I can see Nitya's hand up. She's also one of the members of the Yes team. So uh, maybe we can see what if she wants to say.
Yeah, hello everyone. Dr. Ramesh, I really appreciate, I think, your comment about the patriarchal society and how women are, symbolized in certain situations. I think we talked about it a few days ago. So I think how I've come to also interpret it is um, uh, it's let's say, the way we say karma or lust. So when a person is trying to overcome that, you need to sort of project it onto something. So the outward in the external world, the symbol becomes the woman, so or other things, I think. So that way, I think symbolism has been used a lot. It does seem a little biased because much of it has been from a man's point of view. Uh, I see that there is a limited understanding there, but perhaps maybe it could have been misconstrued, or it could have. I think there's also a different way of interpreting it. Mr. Vasan, thank you so much for sharing. I'll just like to inform you that I'm currently reading a book titled Women Who Run with the Wolves. It is about symbolism in myths and folklores from across the world. And I've never read Ramayana, I've only watched or heard about it from popular culture. But this is the first time I've heard uh, Sita as a symbol for Brahmagyan or divine knowledge. And that's a very interesting takeaway for me. Do you think the popular version, where at the end of Ramayana Sita leaves for the forest, is a symbolism of people's rejection of the divine knowledge?
Okay. I think I'll just go back and clarify a couple of things. The problem with something as huge as Ramayana, we can never ever justify. How much ever you talk, you'll always find that there are ways you can understand it. Now, when I showed the first action of Lord Rama and Krishna, that they had kind of killed Tataka and Putana, who apparently happened to be women, and our was focused on that. My focus was more on the Kali Yuga, where Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba and Shri Sai Baba, they were focusing on the search of horses, the first major miracle they showed. So for us in Kali Yuga, the sense control is more important. So my, let's say the whole reason behind taking that particular side was to insist that. So, and we in Sai Circle, we always say this, we have this Treta Yuga, then you have Satya Yuga, and then you have Kali Yuga. So you have in Ramayana, you had the evil somewhere far off in Lanka, and then in Mahabharata, you find the evil in the same family. So in Kali Yuga, you find the evil within you. So that is the reason why we as Sai devotees, we always say that the sense control is more important in this one. Coming to your next question, where Mother Sita is sent to forest, again it is like how I said that Lord Rama, he is let's say the symbol of dharma. As a king, his let's say primary duty is to take care of the kingdom and the people of the kingdom. So someone had made this Dobi had made a comment that Mother Sita went and lived with someone else. So how can Lord Rama accept? So the way I see it and the way I have always shown to people is that as a king, family is not important. The people are more important, and that's how we have to project. So, and maybe Lord Rama wanted to set an example that okay, you have this doubt, so I'm sending off my wife. Otherwise, I believe Mother Sita was not to be, let's say, any fault of hers. So, the more on this that as a king, you need to take care of what is required in the kingdom, and that's probably the reason why Lord Rama did what he did. So that's how I have interpreted, and that's how I have been, let's say, sharing in my satsang. Sayonara.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Vasan. I think I understand what you're trying to say. I think it was really interesting when you said Sita as a symbolism of Brahma Gyan. So I think the instinct in me went to the idea that probably that was a rejection of Brahmagyan by people. Sometimes people are not really open for the divine knowledge, and you sort of put that away, or you send it back until you're really ready for it. So I would also like to interpret it that way, since I think this is a new symbolism that I'm taking away from this talk. So thanks a lot for that.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. I think we're done for the evening.
Yes, sir. Thanks. Thanks for the discussion, for answering the questions. Would just like to inform that the recording of today's session and all the yes talks are published on our YouTube channel, Yes Spirituality. And we would love to have you on the social media platforms as well, like Instagram and Facebook. We are present there with the same name, Yes Spirituality. Please do join us.
Sure.
Thanks again, Arun sir, for sparing your valuable time for all of us. Thank you so much. We'll
Awesome.
close
My
today's
pleasure.
session with a moment of peaceful silence. Namaste.